How about now? No.
Oh no, wait, you are.
This side as well. And we're live. We're live. Hello, folks. I think I'm in. Oh yeah, I can see everyone. I'm in shot. Yeah.
And everything cool.
Woo.
Hey guys.
Hey all. How's it going? And I can hear us from here. Oh, I can hear us from there. Cool. Hello.
Do you like our new furniture?
Featuring Cat and Kermit. We'll put him here.
Yeah.
There we go. Josh will be joining us
Shortly.
right here in a moment. So, welcome to another Q&A.
We're going to have to do it again on Facebook.
Oh no. Facebook people, we're sorry. We're having some technical difficulties.
It hasn't detected the phone.
We will be with you one moment. But yeah, send us your questions. How is everyone doing, for starters? How are you guys?
Yeah, tell us about you. What have you been up to? What films are you working on? What projects are you doing?
Or watching?
Or watching. We actually have a few questions ready because we asked people on Facebook and Twitter to get in touch before the live stream. And we have one that I think we can answer straight away. And that's from Film Sensei.
I'm going to get... There you go.
Who says, when will Ollie's beard get its very own live stream?
Well, soon. It's becoming sentient more and more every day, so very soon, I have no doubt. Channel name?
Channel name?
Yeah, we need a channel name.
No, we're just going to set up a camera in the office on your beard, like the
a
whole
live stream
time.
beard. And we'll
It'll just be like from you,
time lapse it.
from here down.
I like it. Sounds
Yeah.
like a good idea. Thanks for the suggestion. Cool. Yes. Good. Soon.
Major Plays says, how do you grow a small YouTube channel?
Ooh.
Well.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of advice that you kind of come across online, and if you go to any YouTube kind of conventions and stuff like that, people say to do like content that you love, essentially, is one of the biggest things to do. And here's Josh, yay!
I love it when people cheer. That's what I live for.
Do make content that you love, and the crowds will slowly form over time, and it'll be like a meaningful audience as well, because they'll be coming there to view the content that you love creating, and that's what's really valuable. So
what did I miss?
How to grow a small YouTube channel. Keep at it. Persistence is the key with a lot of things in life. Ooh, knowledge.
To make things short as well. Don't make things really long in terms of like if you're just like sitting there chatting about things for hours and hours and hours. Try and cut things down so that you get to the point. Do something good at the start as well. So like people like convinced early on. If you're doing like tutorials, we always try and show you the result at the beginning so that you can then watch through knowing what you're going to get. People on YouTube are very keen to flick on to the next thing if they haven't been engaged by it. So, you know, you've got to get them. Get them at the start, make them think this is going to be something cool, tell them what you're going to talk about, and hopefully that will convince them to stay. And then, I think we've done a video all about the YouTube algorithm and stuff like that, the word that I can never say when I'm put on the spot, where Kirsty, our YouTube expert, tells you everything you need to know about being awesome on YouTube.
Yeah, there's a lot. That is a good point, and you'll see people, like Josh was saying, showcasing one big thing at the start of the video to get people kind of interested. You see that in kind of every genre of video. So even like gaming channels will show you something big that's happened in their, you know, half-hour video, you know, before it starts.
Yeah.
So
can everyone hear us fine today?
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah,
point.
how
a good
are we
one.
sounding?
The sound,
are we loud enough?
It looks okay. Are we too loud?
I know
that's
I'm quite quiet, but I'm nearest the microphone this time.
God, why have you put me so close to the microphone? I'm like the
Do
loudest.
you want to swap?
You should be on the end.
I should be in a different room.
You sit in the corner.
So yeah, as you were saying, this is some of our new office furniture. We're actually sprucing up the entire HQ here. This is actually the lunch area where the team all gather around and have lunches together, share jokes and, you know, issues to do with, you know, how we got to get stuff fixed and stuff like that. In fact, lately what they've been doing is fixing furniture together. So we have all sorts of furniture and stuff. Part of the reason we're doing this is because there's going to be like an all new studio setup for our YouTubes. So there's going to be all sorts of things going on. Yep. But yeah, so excuse the surroundings because we're halfway through.
Yes, it's going to look a lot more awesome soon, and we'll probably show you a bit more kind of behind the scenes stuff when you know,
once that wall has been put up over there, and those walls over there have been taken down.
Yeah, so keep an eye out for that. We're gonna have you know, we have marketing lunches, and we're showing your content to the whole team
on a big screen that will also be over there.
So yeah, keep an eye out for that. You'll see some behind the scenes stuff from that. So yes, it's all very exciting times.
On to some other questions. We've got one from Pete Some Guy on Twitter, and he wants to know, in the Express version, when I use masks or even scale down planes, they have blurred and feathered edges. Is there a way to avoid this?
Well, this sounds confusing. So scaling down layers or masks shouldn't cause them to have blurred edges.
Unless you've got a feather on them.
Yeah, there's a feather that you can put on a mask, as Ollie's saying, that would blur the edges. Also, it could be to do with the resolution of the layer that you're using. So maybe you've made it really, really big. You then add the mask, and what the mask gets added to is, if you've got a layer that has a very low resolution, and that's the amount of pixels across or horizontally and vertically, and you draw a mask on it, what you'll see when you're drawing the mask is the perfectly drawn shape of the shape that you're drawing with the interface, but what it has to render it onto, your layer, could be much lower resolution than that, so it only can cut out whole pixels, and that might be a blurry or pixelated edge. So this question's a bit hard to answer because we'd need to have a look at what you're doing, but I would take a look at some of the tutorials that have been done by Axel in the past about masking and see if you're following those, because yeah, any layer that you blow up really big or then shrink down, there is the potential that you will lose resolution, and that could cause issues. The other thing that can cause blurring is motion blur. So if you're animating it, it's moving very, very fast, that could cause blurring as well.
Great. Phineas Films wants to know, why hasn't Simon been here? Where is Simon?
Simon doesn't actually work here anymore, which is sad. We would all shed a tear if we could on cue. But Simon is doing loads of work with us. So many of you may know that Simon was also an avid writer, a very good writer, and he was also, Simon's on there, is he? Well, you know, Simon had two great passions, film and writing, and when he was here, he was also very passionate about training people, and that became a new passion of his. So now he's helping people get really great at writing or promote their writing and all of those kind of things, but he's still very passionate about teaching people about this kind of stuff. So as you know, we've had a tutorial from him recently.
Yeah, very recently.
And there's a great lynda.com, which is a training website. There's a great tutorial series there about using HitFilm. There's a couple actually, and they're both done by Simon. And there may even be more in the future. And we'll definitely, if we can get him, have him back for doing more stuff on our YouTube.
For sure, 100%.
Great.
You never know, he may end up sitting on this sofa in a future video as well.
Yeah. Maybe he'll come back as a guest, because we know you guys love that.
We'll tie him down to the sofa so he can't escape until he does lots more tutorials.
Sounds like a plan.
We should just invite him here and then get all of you guys to come and just like do like a meet and greet. It would be like the best thing ever.
Well, absolutely.
Done.
I'm sorry if I get this wrong. Zerklicht has a question, and he says, can you add a shortcut to jump to the next keyframe in a timeline?
There is a shortcut to do that in terms of a button, but I do not know if it's linked, as in a button on the interface.
I think so, yeah.
It sits above the timeline. There are 2 sideways arrows with a keyframe or a recording indicator in the middle. And when you are on a set property, anywhere on that property, if it's keyframed and you click those, it will jump the playhead to the next one. I don't know if those are mapped to a keyboard shortcut. Cedric! No, the developers are slightly out of earshot, but they would be able to tell me whether that was mapped to a keyboard shortcut. If it's not, and you want it, tell us, and we will do it.
Yes.
Rodrigo wants to know, going back to the topic of masking, can you mask the timestamp effect?
Can you mask the timestamp effect?
Yeah.
You can, through either... So yeah, the timestamp effect, I think the thing that you would want to do here is pre-compose it. So make a comp out of it, and then you could mask that comp.
Yeah,
so
that's a good idea.
So the order in which masks and effects are applied... Oh, there is! There we go, the developers have come through. They heard our call for help. There is a keyboard shortcut for that, so you can look that up in the keyboard mapping.
Yeah, you can find that in, what is it, like file options shortcuts.
And then there's a tab.
In the interface. Yeah, little shortcuts tab. So
see, look at that.
There you go.
Answers straight from the developers, right here live on YouTube. But yeah, we were talking about, so effects get applied in the wrong order if you wanted to mask something and then add the effect to it. So what you could do is you can pre-compose that. So you could select that layer and say make composite shot. And then in that composite shot that you're using, you could then actually mask around things. I hope that's the right answer. It is an answer.
We'll find out. Let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know if that's the answer that you wanted. Kyle McCormick.
Oh, we know Kyle. Kyle might be there. Is he visiting the offices?
I believe so.
Oh,
maybe, yeah. He would like to know, what did you guys think of Baby Driver if you saw it?
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. That's one I missed out on. Yeah.
You've seen it?
Yeah, but you go.
I liked it. I thought it was a bit too long at the end. I think it was a case where it was 20 minutes too long. But the editing was really impressive, and I'm a massive fan of Edgar Wright. The soundtrack I listen to frequently, but I don't think it's as amazing as some other people think so.
Yeah, well, that's it's been quite divisive, I think. From people I've heard, some people really liked it, some people didn't like it. I think the editing was and the pace of it, because of that, was strong enough to keep me sort of like really into it. I think there was some story issue. I guess it's sort of like, the portrayal of women in that film isn't particularly great, but otherwise, I thought it was really fun, and I thought the editing was, Edgar Wright his films are the only ones that really seem to do it that way, and it really gets you into it, and you feel like you're in there with it. So I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. I'm not sure it's one of my favourite Edgar Wright films, but I was impressed by it for sure. Evan Heck, great last name. How do I make an idea come to life? How do I get started?
Ooh.
Who wants to go on that one?
Start writing it down. That's what I'd say. Write stuff down. Write all your ideas down, and from that you'll start they'll just start developing by default. Honestly, just to start things off, just get things out of your head and onto paper. Just put them out there, show other people, and they'll slowly start developing. Regardless of what it is, story, techniques and stuff. That would be my kind of first.
If it's filmmaking, I think a lot of the time when you have something that you're really passionate or excited about, there will be a particular sequence you have come to mind, and particularly if it's visual effects, you might be like, oh god, this is going to be really, really great if I can do this thing. And what we did, so if we think about when Kirsty changed into Iron Man, the thing that we were really excited about was the head-up display, and could we do that? So the thing that made us even more excited about it was when we spent maybe 2 hours actually filming Kirsty moving around, and then Simon and I having a fiddle around with visual effects, and it didn't look anything like what we wanted the final thing to look like, but we proved that the idea was sound, and then we knew that we could really, really go for it and spend those additional hours, because making anything creative does take a long time. So I guess get rid of the question marks in your head if you can. You know, like if you've got a part of it and you don't know how you're going to do it, try and tick off those question marks as early as you can to say, oh, I am going to be able to get this prop, or I am going to be able to get this location, rather than, you know, like let those question marks spoil it for you. Nice. So just go and experiment and try things out. So
to answer that bit and then let the other stuff build up around
it.
Yeah,
and your excitement will build then as well, because you won't be like, oh, am I going to be able to do this? You'll be like, I can do this, and I'm going to do it even better.
Yeah, definitely. I think something that really worked for me recently is me and some friends did a 15-second film competition, and we did it with a camera. Like,
how did you find the time?
Such a sad joke. You're the worst. But what we did was we actually did test shots on an iPhone, and we just went and shot everything, well, 15 seconds, but because it's obviously really hard to cut it down to such a short amount of time, we tested everything just on our phones, and then we went and filmed it for real with a proper boom and a nice camera. So do test shots, make sure that you've got the right people on board if you're doing a collaborative project. Reliability is a massive part of doing something with a crew.
Yeah, sure. This is all good advice.
Yeah.
Sound advice. Yeah.
There's a really great comment on here where someone was describing what Baby Driver was, and they said it's just like Boss Baby but with a driver instead, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah,
it was great.
Makes sense.
Atul Akari, I'm an amateur. Can I start with HitFilm?
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Express is, I mean, like, if you want to become a filmmaker, or you know, you actually, this is something you want rather than just editing like any old video. You actually want to become a filmmaker and have the tools at your disposal to do amazing things. That's what HitFilm is made for. So, you know, HitFilm, the completely free version, Express, is great if you want to become a filmmaker and you want to do some visual effects and you want to do some motion graphics and you want to have some a sort of great selection of tools at your disposal. HitFilm is made to be the best place for those people to start. So if it's not, then we're going to work at it and make it better, but I think it's a pretty good place for those people to start.
Yeah, for sure.
So go for it.
And start small as well. When you go into the software, don't go in with the idea that you're going to learn the whole thing in one go, because it's hard with any piece of software to kind of you know, look at the interface, and you're never going to know everything from the get-go. So yeah. Open it up, have like an idea in mind of what you want to kind of do, set yourself like a task. Go through our tutorials. There's a playlist on our YouTube channel called The Basics, I think, and run through that, and it gives you some ideas of different things, effects and techniques you can pull off in the software, and just kind of slowly build up an understanding of how it works, and yeah, eventually you'll be surprised.
It's intimidating to start with, but you know, filmmaking isn't a simple thing. If you want to really have a powerful tool, I mean, we could have cut out half the features and made it more simple, but actually that's not what Express is about. Express is about people learning and the tool giving you scope to learn, and the tutorials on the website, well, on the YouTube, are absolutely the best things to follow. You have Javert there, you have Axel there, you have Simon there, and all of our other guest presenters. They're all experts in various elements of the software, and they are the best people because they've all learnt it themselves. A lot of them were instrumental in the creation of it, in fact, so they are the best people to follow. And then just go and try your own thing. But yeah, it's daunting to start with. There's a lot of buttons, there's a lot of windows and everything, but follow those tutorials. Try to sort of put it out of your mind that there's some bits there that you don't know what they do. Follow the tutorials and you'll learn about it, and then it's a really, really powerful tool.
Yeah, and then once you've learned those techniques, you'll then understand how they can be applied to your own work.
Absolutely.
And whatnot. So remember to download project files as well, because a lot of our YouTube videos have project files which are, you know, give you like footage and stuff to work with. So,
yeah, you can switch bits off, switch bits on, and sort of work out what does what. It's really useful.
Yeah. So.
Kirsty's saying something. What are you saying, Kirsty?
Sign language.
Gotcha.
She's saying it very quietly so that we can hear it, but nobody else can. She does exist.
Yeah, she is here. THW Films wants to know, do you have anything in the works with Film Riot?
Oh, always.
Always.
Because, you know, Ryan
We're good friends.
Yeah, Ryan and his family are like, we're the biggest fans of those guys, and any opportunity we can get to do anything with them, we jump at it. Yeah, it's like, so they are kind enough to talk to us fairly often about projects we could work on with them, and we will continue to do that. There will be some stuff this year, I'm absolutely sure, and we're really just excited to work with them. We just wish we weren't on the opposite side of the ocean to them.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
Although hopefully with Ryan's great new project that he's working on and has mentioned on his YouTube channel, I'm just like, he hasn't just mentioned that twice. No, so he has been working on, because you know he's always working on great stuff. Hopefully I'm going to go over and see that later in the year when he shows that. That would be awesome.
Nice.
So yeah.
And THW Film says, thanks guys, that's awesome, because that's how I got to know you.
Me. Cool.
Awesome. Sweet.
What was the comment that you said that we should look at, Kirsty?
Yeah, there's so many coming in. I'm just trying to.
It only came in recently. It was a really good
John.
one. I can just read it out.
Yeah, read it.
Yeah.
Read it loud, Kirsty.
Loud and proud.
Justin John Hughes says, will you ever consider making a photo editing software with a similar interface as HitFilm, but with more photo editing tools?
So just in case people didn't hear that, I've forgotten the name.
Justin John Hughes.
Justin John Hughes has said, will we ever make a image editing application with similar tools, even going as far as a similar interface to HitFilm? And the answer I would give to that is that HitFilm's interface isn't entirely suitable for image work. I know, because I use it to do image work myself sometimes. But if there was a product that had a better interface for image work than HitFilm and had lots of powerful tools, it feels like a product that we should be bringing out this year.
Solid wording.
VidBoom would like to know, is there a way to do voice distortion?
Yes, I think so. There's a number of audio distortion effects that are inside HitFilm. I think
developers, we need like one of those big shells.
Yeah. To the developers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are a lot of effects in there. If you go into the HitFilm interface, go into effects, and in the search bar at the top, type in audio, and it'll come with a little folder and all the audio effects that you've got there.
We're adding more to this, but I think we have added some more in the most recent version of Pro, like the compressor effect and stuff like that. But yeah, we are adding more stuff to this all the time. But the best thing for us would be to hear what kind of like voice manipulation or audio effects do you want, because we can make them, but because I mean that HitFilm's audio stuff is at the beginning of its journey to be awesome, whereas you know the visual effects side we've had a lot more work on. So tell us the things you most want, and as always that will influence what we develop next.
Yeah, for sure. And if you want to try out all the audio effects, I'm not sure if all of them are in Express.
I think
all of them
most of them are.
Yeah, I think they are, but all of them will be in Pro. Everything's always in Pro, so go and get the Pro demo. Whack your footage in there, test out all the audio effects and see what you can kind of come up with, and then you'll kind of know what you're looking for and stuff.
Cool.
Oh, just as an extra note on audio, what's that really cool one with the free software called that we use all the time? I'm trying to remember the name of it.
What film?
Is it Audacity? Is it Audacity
I'm
that?
not sure if it's free, but we use Audacity.
I think Audacity is the free one. That's like let's Google it. No, don't worry. Yeah, but yeah, so Audacity is a really powerful audio product that's as powerful as a lot of the very expensive paid ones out there on the market. So, you know, HitFilm's going to be improving its audio side, but a dedicated tool like Audacity is something well worth having installed on your computer.
Yeah, you can record sound right into that and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
and then there's all sorts of like cleaning it up and effects that you can apply on it, and it's good software. So yeah, grab that.
Ta-da.
And off the back of that, I'm not going to say the username because there's many numbers in it, but audio effect suggestion, would you be able to blend and mix tracks in the future with Pro?
You can mix tracks now. There's a track, there's an audio mixer inside. This is more mainly for the editor rather than, you can do stuff in the comp, but the actual control's made for the editor. So in Pro, there's all sorts of tools. I think they're all in Express as well. I think the audio mix is in Express as well as Pro. trying to remember off the top of my
head.
head.
I get confused. Which is
but yeah, there are tools inside it for doing like there's a master track editor in Pro at least.
Yep.
If it's not, might be in the next version of Express. But there's a master track editor, and then there's individual track level editors inside the software, which are keyframeable as well.
Yes.
And in the latest version of Pro, that's got all the nice, beautiful keyframingness that we have inside all of our other tools. It's a bit more primitive in the current version of Express, but who knows in the future versions of the software? Because it would be silly to have two different versions of that.
Indeed.
This is why I'm not allowed on here too often.
Sorry, guys.
Someone off camera with giant butterfly net to grab you.
I've just lost the person who asked the question, but they would like to know, could you give some advice on someone who wants to be an editor as a career?
I think, I mean, I'm not an editor. This is where you would need Simon here, but my advice, as far as I understand, would be to watch and deconstruct a lot of films.
Yeah, watch the commentaries as well.
Yeah. It's kind of, it's such an artistic process being an editor. Someone I know, Marco von Moos, who used to be the king of all things on our FX Home website, basically said, you know, just keep on cutting stuff out. You know, you really want to cut things down, because when you watch them, you get used to them. So it's going away from it, coming back with fresh eyes. It's showing it to people, and people that you can believe, that aren't just going to be, you know, maybe like mum and dad and go, oh, this is great. But someone goes, why is it lingering? Why, you know, his eye's changing direction. You could have just cut it there and everything. Do not sort of be hesitant to just cut things down. Yeah. But it's probably, you know, going to film school or going to something like that, or looking at some of the online courses and things like this. There's some really good online courses.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like, film is sort of a language of its own. Like, you're kind of taught how to read film. So watching the commentaries and watching video essays, especially on how to cut and edit a film, you'll pick up so many different things and understand why an editor does something the way that they do. And they work so closely with the director of photography and the director, and it's a very collaborative process. But you also have to be prepared that it's a very isolating job, in the sense that you are alone in a dark room editing for hours on end. So
for then someone to brutally come in and go, no, actually, you know, we're going to move this over here. The flow isn't right or something. But yeah, it's the most amazing thing to be able to do.
It's so rewarding, but you need to have a lot of patience and a thick skin, which is obviously something that you will get over time. But persevere. Yeah. It's worth it.
Kirsty.
Glitch Monkey asks, will there ever be a Rotobrush tool in HitFilm?
Glitch Monkey asks whether there'll be a Rotobrush tool inside HitFilm. If we could make a Rotobrush tool that actually worked like the demo videos of Rotobrush do, which is to say perfectly every single time, we would have done one already. It's a great tool, and in certain circumstances it works incredibly well. Other ones not so much. At the moment we work with Mocha, which is slightly different in what you use it for, but is industry leading in what it does. We are always looking at different ways of cutting things out from backgrounds. At the moment our focus, because it is less time consuming, has been more on the green screen side, which is not always possible. So we are looking towards other tools, but our partners over at Imagineer and Boris, working on Mocha, are better at this than we are. And their tool is very, very great at sort of masking things. But in terms of it actually assisting you to cut things out, we do look at this. It's quite an intensive process to do well. So yeah, we've done the puppet tool. Everyone wanted the puppet tool. We've done the scopes. Everyone wanted the scopes. We have a particle engine like Particular. We have 3D models like Element 3D. We do the stuff that people want, but we would want to make sure that it's really high quality before we put it out there.
Cool. So, sorry, this is a little bit slow. Bear with me.
It's all good.
It's all good.
Talk amongst yourselves.
You brought cards. You could do a magic trick.
I'm like an amateur magician in that I know I can't actually shuffle a deck of cards, but I can do 3 card tricks, of which today I can remember 1.
I've seen one, and if it's that one, it is a good one.
It was like magic, wasn't it?
It was. Like absolute magic. I was.
Maybe in a future video I will show you, and you'll all go, "This is where he switches the car."
Just do a live stream of you just doing
I'm
the same magic
so
trick.
ashamed of my magic skills that I often just tell people how I did it.
Oh, that's not how you do it. That's wrong.
That's now how you get to like Vegas, is it?
Ruben wants to know, which program are you using for 3D modeling?
Well, this is a hard one. So I guess Ollie will have some different ideas on this.
There's so many. I think people kind of learn 3D modeling on a certain program and then sometimes just kind of stick to it. So whether it's like Cinema 4D, I know a lot of people kind of swear by that. A lot of people swear by Maya. Loads of people swear by Blender. And Blender's a great option to start with because it is free. I think it's I find it more complex than maybe other softwares, but it's certainly very capable of doing stuff. So if you're, what was the full question? How did you get into 3D?
What did you get started on? I mean, like on our website, all the videos that we've done, so Rebellion and Halo, they've all been done on Blender
stuff. So
by people that are really good at Blender.
Yeah, so it's open source. Blender's open source software, and despite it being free, it is certainly capable of creating some really stunning stuff. I think a good thing to do, maybe go and do some background research on all the different programs and what type in maybe YouTube the best work of Blender, the best work from Maya, and see kind of what they're capable of. And then look at the kind of pricing around them. Blender is free if you're willing to put maybe a bit more time into learning the software. Give that a go. It is powerful. It is free, and you can pull off some good stuff inside it. There's also some animation stuff and whatnot. It's more than just the 3D modeling. But then you've got like the industry standard tools, Cinema 4D, Maya, and stuff, and you can obviously kind of segue into those if you choose to.
I think it depends what your final destination is.
Yeah,
if you decide that you want to be an actual 3D artist, animator, anything like that, then you might as well go and get the learning editions of any of the professional tools. So you've got 3ds Max, you've got Maya, and you've got Cinema 4D. Cinema 4D is really friendly, but in terms of industry standard tools, you're talking Maya and you're talking 3ds Max. So if you want to get into the industry and that's your job, and there's many different jobs in that, from rigging through to actually animating and also making models, use those tools. But if you're looking at it from an independent filmmaker, you want to make some 3D stuff, you want to make some stuff for yourself, and you don't really care if it leads in that direction, you just want to make stuff now, Blender, 100%. Go for it. It's complicated, but again, like, follow the tutorials.
There's so many tutorials online. Now, I'm following tutorials in various pieces of software at the moment, just online. YouTube is a great source of just free tutorials.
And you shouldn't think that if you go and do Blender and then you decide I want to be a 3D artist that you've missed out. No. It's not like that. Blender and then a lot of the techniques inside it, while the interface will be different, the techniques that you're learning are exactly the same techniques you're going to use elsewhere in putting lights in, extruding things, and all of that kind of stuff. It's the same, just like if you learn After Effects or HitFilm, you're learning the same techniques.
Yeah, you'll just be able to kind of take what you've learnt in one piece of software and apply it to another.
Yeah.
It's the background knowledge of how software works and how things can be created in the software. That's really what you're trying to get from it. So
for sure,
have a play around.
And speaking of tutorials, Ria Vasic, sorry if I got that wrong, will you do tutorials more often than just once a week? We'd like to.
We'd love to.
We'd love to.
Yeah, it's definitely something we'd love to do. It's
Kirsty's nodding like that's going to happen.
Yeah,
Kirsty says yes.
Kirsty's so up.
The lady off screen, she says yes.
So definitely. So it's definitely something we'd love to do more. We'd love to put out loads of content.
All this content costs money is the problem.
Yeah,
it costs money and time, and we've only got one Axel and we've got one Javert.
Yeah,
and they're also doing loads of other stuff that isn't tutorials for YouTube. They're doing support, they're working on improving the software, and all of those kind of things. So this is why we're reaching out to all the great people out there that know the software and getting them to do stuff for the website as well. So if we were, a huge company, we would be putting out, a tutorial every single day if we could, and but we're doing our best, and I know Kirsty's vision for the YouTube is to have as much great content going out there as possible.
Yes.
Cool.
So that's like a yes. It's like a yes, but really long.
I'd like to know the answer to this one, so I'm going to ask it. Phineas Films asks, why is it called HitFilm?
That was my next question.
Stolen it. Why is it called HitFilm? Because, so people out there may not know this, but HitFilm is made by a company called FX Home. FX Home has been around for 17 years. It's the company that I started when I left university with Toby, who many people won't know. Toby Walsh is the other founder of the company. We historically had we could make software, and the software got better and better, but names was something we had a lot of trouble with. The only product that we ever made that was easy to name was a keying piece of software for photos, which we called PhotoKey. Other than that, our naming has been problematic, and HitFilm was sort of, there was a big discussion about it between the team, and it was the best name that we could come up with that wasn't overly dry and boring, but showed what we wanted to do with the software. So yeah, it was, we wanted film in there. We wanted that you could make something with impact, that it was young, and like the users that we had of the software, and like us, it was exciting. So HitFilm is what we came up with, and yeah, it's stuck. Yeah, we don't have the money to go out there and like do a survey of 10,000 people and with like, you know, big focus groups to find things out. This was really the name that just we came up with, and it stuck, much like FX Home. A name that you might see more of in the future.
You could play like live stream bingo and you just guarantee that Josh would say something cryptic. There's a really nice message from Sean Morgan who says, I'm a musician, an artist in my 50s, and I always had a secret desire to work in VFX. Thanks to HitFilm Express and Blender, I'm now doing things I never dreamed I could do, so thanks for this awesome app.
That's
awesome. Really cool, man.
Awesome.
That's made my day.
Yeah, that's great.
Send us your stuff.
Yeah,
we want to see it.
I'm trying to get into VR, you know, like I don't do anything for ages in terms of creating stuff, and now I'm creating VR, but it's so exciting to be able to like use tools and create something, especially if you didn't think you were going to be able to do it. And I never thought I was going to be able to like, you know, do VR. It's like what I dreamed of when I was younger. So I know what that feels like, but thank you for using our software. That's exactly why we put it out there. And please tell us if there's any areas that you're going through and you go, oh, this bit isn't as easy as I thought, or particularly if there isn't enough information about a particular area. Our export screen, for a long time, there wasn't enough about that. Do tell us, and we'll try and like make content so that we can teach people about that stuff too.
Yep, definitely.
Kirsty.
Because I think this is really important in terms of what we stand for. So Jim has asked, so if the issue with the tutorials is financing, why not make the tutorials a small subscription, like $10 a month?
So this question, just in case people can't hear Kirsty, was like, if the issue with the tutorials is financing, why not make a subscription for the tutorials? It's a logical idea. That's where the lynda.com tutorials that are being done by Simon, some of those, there's a subscription you have to pay to be on Lynda. But we feel, and the whole message of the company, and the reason we started it 17 years ago, was that we were creatives, and we wanted to make a film, and we couldn't make what we wanted to make because it cost too much money to get the software, and it was really hard and downheartening to actually go through that process, because all we wanted to do is make cool things and tell a story, even though it was a story about hitting people with lightsabers. That's what we wanted to do.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, absolutely. It's a great place to start, and probably a great place. I'd do it now.
You still do, don't you?
But the whole dream of back then, and Simon was part of this dream, and the whole team here is very much part of the dream, is to make the whole act of being creative and telling a story on film easier, more fun, more enjoyable, so you can get more out of it and do more of it. And having the tutorials be completely free on YouTube with the content that goes around them wherever possible, even 3D models, video, or whatever we produce, being completely free allows more people to dive in and have a go, and hopefully have a fun time doing it, and see that actually being creative is a great thing and an exciting thing. So pretty much, as long as we exist, we're going to be putting out free content and free software where we can, and making it so people can have a go at doing this thing. And I know that means that, you know, we can't maybe get as much money in for it, so we can't produce as much content, but that's why we try and have a business model that we do, that we can actually get to the point where we can produce more content just by selling more software when it comes to the Pro software. Or if you like any of our add-on packs for Express, please do go and buy them. It does help us make more content, but at the same point, Express is meant to be a great product out of the box whether you buy anything for it or not. So our content will remain free and we'll always have free software.
Yeah. Good answer. I got nothing to add.
Yeah. Please don't. I run on for hours. That guy just keeps on talking.
That was quite a speech.
Yeah.
Calvin's on Facebook.
Woo.
Woo.
Calvin's on.
Hey,
Shout
Calvin.
out to
Facebook.
Calvin.
This one.
Oh, that one. Calvin! So Calvin Serrano, I don't know if we're allowed to say what he's been doing. So Calvin, who did loads of the stuff on Halo Jump, so the aeroplane he did, and the reverse shot of the aeroplane. Really cool stuff. Blender, again.
Yeah.
Calvin's a Blender user. But he also uses HitFilm, and he did some great stuff with the YouTuber Mike Diva for the LA Metro. Really great stuff, and I believe he might be doing more stuff with Mike Diva right now over in LA. Calvin's awesome. He's been here in the office with us actually for a while, and maybe one day he'll come back from LA to Norwich and spend some more time with us. We can only hope.
Yes.
And also a shout out to Red Alert.
Ah, Red Alert.
Hey, dude.
I believe I'm going to be talking to Red Alert shortly.
I believe you may be.
Has he announced this? Have we just announced it?
I'm not sure.
Red Alert has an excellent channel that teaches you all about HitFilm. Again, we just want more and more of this content out there. Red Alert's definitely a place to go and look. So go and look at his channel. And if my face pops up on it at some point, who knows? Javert already has.
Yeah.
Javert already gets in there first. Come on, Javert.
We're at the get-go.
Glitch Monkey would like to know, will you ever hold HitFilm short film competitions?
We would love to, I think.
It would be the
Yeah,
dream.
Kirsty is nodding.
Cool.
Yes, we
Sure.
really want to.
I think
Sounds
these
awesome.
guys, along with Kirsty,
that.
will be working out what's the best way to do it when you have an international audience. An audience, you know, some users have Pro and maybe have really big expensive cameras, and then other people are like doing maybe their first or second movie. You don't want to just go, oh look, so the person that has a 20 grand camera wins. You know, so it's working out all of that kind of stuff. But these guys will work that out.
Yeah, I think we'd provide the assets. It would be making it into something different and cool.
That's a good
And then it evens the playing field.
Do I get to enter?
Maybe.
No, it doesn't.
Sure thing, boss. The nervous laughter. Speaking of international audiences, we've had quite a few questions about the software being available for different languages, because there's someone on here who's asked, please could you make it available to the Spanish market, because we really would love a great VFX tool such as yours.
You could answer an important question for us then. If you are wanting to use HitFilm in a different language, it's really big process to convert all the different assets that we have for HitFilm over to a different language, and we do want to do it because it's unreasonable not to, particularly with a large audience like we're now getting. But we have to do it one step at a time, because again we're going to have to like go out to people, and it's actually really expensive. So we have multiple things we can do. One of them would be that we can convert the manual. The other one is that we convert the little bits of text you see on buttons and things like that inside the software. If we had to start with one, the software interface or the manuals, we're assuming the manuals would be the best place to start with, like, you know, like still having screenshots of the product in English, but the manuals around them and the descriptions around them being in other native languages. Is that the best place to start? Let us know what you think, because we are intending to look at this year and get more support out there for other languages, but we just got to know what's the best place to start, what's going to help the most.
Aim. Yep.
Christian
Adleta would like to know, how big is your development team?
Well, secret industry information. We've answered this before.
Yeah, this one comes up.
It's significantly smaller than any other product we know in the industry. So that's a strength and potentially a weakness. So the After Effects team, I'm probably going to get this wrong now, but the After Effects and Premiere teams are many tens of people. Like, you know, there might be actually like 40 odd developers working on one of those products at any one time. We are a small we're small compared to that. There's under a quarter of that number working on HitFilm, but they're better. So, no, I didn't say that. The teams working on Adobe stuff are great. We just have an amazing team here. They're very committed to the product. It's a very different proposition to a lot of the other products out there in the industry. We work towards supporting a different user base, but the team here are amazing, and they do fabulous work, and they're actually like really, really skilled. So we get a lot done for the team that we have. But it's a small team.
Very small. Have you guys ever considered making a lengthy film in the future? If a good idea for a story comes up, would you consider it?
We would love to.
It's the time. Yeah. We don't really have the time.
Also, we have several very good film ideas.
Yeah.
No.
That's what I think it is.
It's definitely
Man bat. What?
No.
Who said that? No, I think the issue here is that we are, we do these productions out with other people and with the talented people that we have internally. So, Chavez making stuff all the time. Axel goes out there and films stuff. The issue is we're not a film company. As much as we love it, and we try and enter things like, film competitions, and you've been talking about film on, you've done it recently, we've entered Sci-Fi Film Festival and all sorts of things. If we could do a feature and it was like a really good idea, we would recommend someone went to a really big production company that actually could do it really, really well, because we can make the software to do the effects and stuff like that, but in terms of making the film, we'd love to, but we'd probably be out of our depth on a full feature, to say the least,
Yeah.
Unfortunately. That's why we don't make AAA video games as well.
Yes.
Slightly out of our depth.
Speaking of gaming, someone asked recently, do you have any advice for someone who wants to do streaming for their gaming? I'm really sorry, I can't remember the exact wording of the question. Something around that area.
There's pretty much two platforms that everyone uses for video game streaming, so Twitch and sometimes YouTube. Less often YouTube, but get on Twitch, play a game that you enjoy playing, because streaming, unlike creating videos for YouTube and all that kind of shorter form content, streaming takes hours. You get people that stream for hours and hours on end. So play something you really enjoy playing. Of course, you can play games that are pretty hyped up at the moment, stuff like Fortnite. Everyone's playing Fortnite. Play something like that, play something like Overwatch. Loads of people play these games, but definitely the thing to focus on is play something you enjoy playing. Go to the main hubs, Twitch, YouTube. Start trying to make a name for yourself just by doing it.
Is it important to have something to say, like while you're playing it? Like,
you're
excited about it.
A big part of the kind of streaming community is the personality behind the streamer. So if you can get a face cam, that's definitely a benefit for gaming.
Unless you have a face like me.
People love seeing people's faces when they're playing games, because it creates a level of kind of connection there, and people can kind of understand who they're subscribing to. So get out there, be funny, be yourself, be loud.
And loads of the software is free, right, to actually do this
stuff?
Yeah,
so streaming software, we're using free streaming software to do this stream, in fact.
What software is that?
We're using OBS.
There you go.
And it's very easy to use, easy to set up, and it's a very straightforward process. Once you get the setup done, then you're away. One thing I'd recommend doing is getting a decent computer. And decent internet.
How are you recommending this?
Speaking from someone who doesn't have a good computer, my computer just turns itself off when I try to stream. So
that's the wrong button on it.
It does just short circuit. So it disconnects all the other people. Right. Do that. Get out there.
Cool.
Do it.
Put your personality into it, and watch the numbers slowly grow. And once they start growing, it'll snowball.
There you go.
You got this. Ollie has faith in you.
Yes, we all do.
We all do. Do you think the particle simulator could become an add-on pack for Express?
Yes.
Oh.
Good. Thank you.
That sounds like something that should happen during 2018.
Oh. I don't know what's it. Yep. Cool. Stuff.
Have you ever thought of doing
less cryptic on that one?
Dialing it down slowly. How do you feel about doing YouTube classes, mini YouTube classes? Do you mean LED classes, as in like a live class, like live editing?
Yeah, live VFX tutorials.
Because that is something we'd love to do.
Yeah, I think a live visual effect tutorial would be fantastic, and I think this is something that I can imagine sitting there in Javert going, oh, we're gonna, you know, show the flash effect, and this is the footage I've got of Ollie, and this we're gonna go through it, and then someone replying back, oh, can you make it green lightning rather than blue, and him showing the process that he would go through would be really, really useful. Because the problem with tutorials often is that, you know, you see the perfect journey from point A to point B, nothing to fully finished effect, and you don't see enough of the decisions that inevitably someone, where you're like, this looks awful, and then you turn it around and, oh, that makes more sense, and oh, blue wasn't the right color, actually I need to go for a turquoise to make lightning look really like sparkly and stuff. So we'd like to do that. A part of the reason we're going to redo these offices in terms of us having like studio space for doing this stuff, I say use studio space in the loosest possible sense of the term. It's not like we've got like lights hanging from the ceiling or anything, but different setups for doing different things, and one of them would be to be able to do live tutorials, probably that would be, you know, an hour long. But that would be really exciting, and we'd definitely like to do that.
Yeah, we've definitely got big plans for those things.
And big plans!
The office is changing massively as well, so hopefully there'll be more opportunities. Bad Wolf Knight wants to know, can we have Axel in the next live stream?
We get ship him over it.
Yeah. I wonder
there's a bit of distance.
There must be software that we could use to have Axel like stream in or streaming together or something.
He's overdue a trip, so we should just put him literally with him.
What?
He's overdue a trip, so we'll just
we'll ship him over here.
Yeah, well, there is that. Oh, yeah, there is obviously that option. You know, I could be ejected from the sofa, and Axel could take my place. But yeah, I think, you know, we would like to get Axel and Javert involved in these live streams as early as possible. But we're still experimenting with them at the moment. But yes, that would be something we'd like to do.
Cool.
I haven't seen Axel for years. He came to Norwich before. He took a lot of photos of castles.
Not churches. We have a lot of churches.
I imagine churches as well. It's old stuff.
Old stuff.
Axel liked the old stuff. He built a massive thing, like medieval style trebuchet.
No way.
Actually, like he built one.
What?
Oh my God, that guy. What can't he do?
Honestly.
What can't he do? I've got a few questions from Facebook. On this bit.
We've only got 10 minutes left. Kirsty said. She said then she's going home and pulling the plug.
Oh my God, Kirsty, no!
Not to blame it on you, Kirsty.
Will you ever add drawing tools? So Yamakani Katunga, again, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, on Facebook wants to know, would you ever add the drawing tools, because it would be nice to have pen tools or erasers or a crop tool in the editor?
Yeah, this is to do with like modern music videos, right? So you see a lot of music videos that have kind of a scribble effect, as it's called, like drawn round.
We have a bunch of different user stories, requests for features around this, from importing vector graphics through to actually being able to edit the vector graphics inside HitFilm in some way, through to just being able to make shapes or paths inside HitFilm outside of the mask control. So we're very aware of this, and it is on the list of things to do with HitFilm. I couldn't give any kind of commitment as to when it will come, other than it is something that we want to do. So that is it's very likely to come at some point, but it's not going to be, say, in the next couple of months or anything like that, because it's a big task and we want us to do it properly when we do it.
Cool. Our man would like to know, have you ever thought of doing a community live stream where you have a smaller group of people that can just have a chat? So
like a Google Hangout type thing.
Yeah, I think that's something we'd be up for as well.
Yeah, we've not really thought about that before and discussed it.
Good
I don't
idea.
think, but it's
we could do it around particular themes, I guess, like really close-knit themes, and like put them out there well in advance and see whether people want to. But then we probably would do the same thing with these live streams, sort of
be the same
tutorials. That some of them might not be live streamed like to the whole YouTube channel. They might just be done in a smaller way, so that people can come on board, and our YouTube audience that maybe don't want to see a live stream tutorial wouldn't be like, what on earth is this? So yeah. That sounds like good ideas, though.
Yeah, good idea. Nice.
Cool. Someone has said, are you ever going to make a Doctor Who regeneration effect? Don't we already have that?
I believe
tutorial.
We do have an older one, but Javert has one on his Inkscape Digital channel.
If you haven't checked out Inkscape Digital, you're missing a trick.
Yeah, type in
Red Alert, Inkscape Digital, all of these channels. If you're a HitFilm user, there's much more content going out than just our weekly show. You should be checking them out. These guys know what they're doing, innovative stuff, doing tutorials in ways that we wouldn't predict. So yeah, go for it, check it out.
Do it. So Bad Wolf Knight again would like to know, have you considered getting a new forum, as the one that you have at the moment is not a traditional forum?
The design of the forum is something that we will be looking at this year, because, you know, if there was additional products, say, that we had launched as a company and they needed space on the forum too, it's like, how would that work? Just as a for instance, a hypothetical. And I think, the design of the forums we'd like to look at, we'd like them to be used more and be more useful as both a discussion area and a support tool. We used to have a very different forum back in the day of FX Home. But yeah, we want it to be clean and easy to use, but we also need to make it more discoverable as well. So yeah, the design of it will be updated, I would imagine, over the next sort of 12 months, but it might be even sooner than that. But there's some big stuff already in the pipeline for the website, so you know.
There should be music every time there's something cryptic.
Little button.
Could be the Inception horn. Just plays over the top of me.
That'd be incredible.
And
we've got a really nice question to end on from Tech That Out, and his question is, well, I actually just assumed that she, where would we all be without HitFilm? Unemployed. That's my question.
Wait, straight up. It's this or nothing.
There's nothing else I want to do. I don't know. There's not a lot of stuff that's on the market like it, I guess. So.
I think I would be like Michael Douglas in Falling Down. In that I would just go crazy. I can't imagine a life without HitFilm.
No.
I don't want to. Don't make me do it.
Sad times. It's necessary to help.
Oh, we've got 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Wow.
Oh my god. All right.
Not the last question.
This is pressure.
Ooh.
Oh god.
Quick.
Nothing more from Facebook?
Facebook.
No,
that list, okay.
Oh, Hugo, we already answered about the I'm not on camera. Hugo asked about the Rotobrush again.
Oh yes, we did answer about the Rotobrush.
Yes, we did answer. You can go back in the video and see where we answered about the Rotobrush. You might miss out on this. No, I don't know where it would be either, timestamp wise. I have no idea. Yeah, earlier. Yes. But the video will stay on YouTube forever. So.
Phineas Films wants to know, do we know Production Crate and what do we think?
Yes, and they're cool. We work with them. Chris from Production Crate. He's putting out a lot of good content, and I think they're doing very regular HitFilm Express tutorials. So
that's awesome.
At least one a week. I think he's trying to do at the moment.
Wow.
So
that's as many as us.
Yeah, and he's got maybe it's that, maybe it's less. He's
doing one every minute.
Got guests on there as well. So Justin Barrett, who recently did a guest tutorial for us, he was on there within the last few weeks, and he did a tutorial on their channel, also using HitFilm Express. So yeah, they're good.
It's about time we updated HitFilm Express, if you ask me. We've got to do that at some point soon. For sure. And obviously they've got indeed, and obviously fairly soon. And Production Crate have the Production Crate website, which has loads of stock footage and effects and elements and whatnot that you can download. A load of them are for free. They also have a premium kind of service where you can get. This sounds fantastic.
Good stuff. Yeah, they're good. So. Go and check them out.
Awesome. And last question, what are your favourite HitFilm Pro features? What's your favourite?
Good question. Ooh, I don't know. I really like the Puppet tool. I was really kind of impressed when that got implemented.
Oh, and now it's all improved with the on-screen UI.
Yeah, yeah, the new, what are they called?
The UI controls where you just
UI controls. Yes, those things. They're pretty, and they work really nicely with the Puppet tool. Better. Yeah, it was really cool. So that's my answer.
Yeah, all the improved functionality I think is just spot on. It's what everyone's asked for, and it's amazing that they can just keep on delivering. Awesome.
What's my favourite bit? My favourite bit is... this is hard. Actually, you know, like, I really like that you can still just jump straight from the editor into a composite shot and do stuff. So I love the 3D model import, and I love messing around with that because it was mine and Simon's dream back in the days when we were first talking about HitFilm that, you know, we would try and make 3D a little bit easier. And we know there's loads of improvements to make there, and we will keep doing that. But it allowed us, you know, to bring in a TIE fighter or an aeroplane and make it fly across the screen, and the camera does something cool, and then there's a missile and it explodes. That's like dream stuff for us to be able to do inside software. But then just being able to jump between that and the editor and put stuff together really easily. But I also love just, you know, the ease of just layering stuff up with the visual effects. We've got so many in there now, and so many of them are really, really nice that you can just put stuff together. And I actually, you know, my favorite thing about HitFilm is the tutorials that other people are making for it. You know, I love watching the tutorials our team make, but Javert as well. Like when we first started watching the tutorials he made and the stuff you see on the Red Alert channel and all of these things, you watch them and you're just like, hang on, these guys, they do better stuff with the software than, you know, I do. And I love that, and watching that stuff is the most exciting thing because it proves it's a tool that people enjoy using, and that's all we want really. So yeah. There's like a billion answers. Yeah. I wish I would shut up sometimes.
That's good. It's inspirational.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah,
are we calling it a wrap up?
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
There we go. Indeed, that is the way.
Thank you everyone for coming and
thanks for joining. Thanks for asking us questions. They've been some very good questions today, so it's been good fun.
Yeah.
I think there'll be another one of these before the office is finished into its new, new configuration.
Yes, may well be.
So yeah, but we're really committed to the marketing guys here. I know Kirsty's not on camera today, but she's been unwell, yet she's still here sorting this out.
She's a trooper.
And these guys, they're doing amazing things. They've got big plans for HitFilm this year, so we're really, really excited to let them get on with that and give them the tools they need to make the most of this. And yeah, Javert and Axel as well, the extended HitFilm family, and Simon, they're always doing great stuff. And yeah, we just want more and more of that, so that by the time we get round to like Christmas this year, there's so much great stuff on the website. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled. More and more stuff coming.
Yes.
See you soon.
Awesome. Thanks ever so much, guys. Remember to subscribe and all that stuff, and we'll see you again very soon.
See ya.
Cool. Bye-bye. And now I have to turn the stream off.
I now have to walk over to that thing and switch off the Facebook.
I'm just gonna...
Yeah, there we go. 3, 2, 1.